Everybody just has the number of holes that they have. Okay. What is good, y'all? Welcome back to my channel. Like this video, subscribe to my channel, and join my yoga studio, The Underbelly, here on YouTube. Head over to my About page, click the join button, and you'll be able to subscribe to The Underbelly here on YouTube. You can take naked yoga classes with me on the Spicy site. Go to the link down in my description, and you can get the link to the Spicy site. I'm not gonna say the name of it, but you've heard it. It rhymes with Phonely Pans. Today, I'm gonna talk about 5 things to keep in mind when you're going down on someone. Number 1, it's a conversation, not a speech. Okay, so what I mean when I say it's a conversation, not a speech, is that a lot of times when you go down on someone, it's like, okay, so whether you're like filleting, like giving a blowjob, or if you are like going down on someone like cunnilingus. I think about blowjobs and cunnilingus as the same thing because ultimately like all genitalia is the same, but I'll say more about that later. I think that sometimes when you start going down on someone, you're like, okay, I gotta make sure that like I give them pleasure. So, which ultimately is like centering you, and it's not really about the other person. It's about like, how can I make sure that they are having a good experience because of something that I did. So that's like a speech. A speech is like you're talking at people, as opposed to a conversation where you're going back and forth. And ultimately, oral sex is very much just like you're having a conversation. It's just like talking to another person. When you're going down on someone, I like to really think of it as like, I'm trying to listen to them as clearly as possible. I really want to listen, but it's also listening with my heart, listening with my mind, listening with my emotions, and really feeling the space and feeling the energy, as opposed to like, okay, I'm gonna talk at you. Here are the points that I would like to hit, and here are the different things I have to say. No, like, I actually approach oral sex very much like, I don't have anything to say. I have nothing to say. I don't know anything. Like, I feel like the best head is when I'm like, I don't know what I'm doing. I don't know who this person is. What's your name, partner? And so I think of it as like a really good opportunity to just get to know your partner. Like, literally just, how's it going? How's your day going? How are you feeling? What do you like? What are the things that you care about? I feel like, I think this advice is like kind of esoteric, and you're like, what the fuck, what do you mean? But when you start really listening with your heart, not just when you're going down on someone, but even just in a regular conversation when you're speaking to someone, you can hear them a lot more clearly, and you can learn a lot about who they are, what they need, who you are, what you need, and how y'all can work together to make everybody feel good. Number 2, constantly check in. How you doing? How you feeling? Do you like that? Do you not like that? Like, don't talk like that, but literally, maybe that's the vibe. But just like constantly checking in, like, and also asking like, do you need water? Are you hydrated? Is this position good for you? Did you like what I just did? And not in a way where it's like really annoying. You'll get to know, like, just do it and you'll start to learn how to ask questions. But just staying in tune with the person, it makes them feel taken care of. It makes them feel like you're taking care of them. It makes you more present so that you're like in it and you know what's going on. Like, you're in control of the situation, as opposed to just like being silent. Because what happens a lot of time, not just in oral sex, but honestly in all sex, is that you get like really quiet and you're not talking. And you're just like, oh my God, this, what's going on? Do they like this? Do they not like it? And then what happens too is that people will be like making sounds and they're lying. They're like acting, performing, and they're just like, oh my God, so good, oh my God. And I'm like, a great question in that situation for me is like, how are you feeling? Are you really enjoying this? Like, if it starts to sound theatrical, If it starts to sound like there's a 2-drink minimum, if it sounds like Sunday matinee, I really just want to check in and be like, how are you feeling? Are you trying to pretend as though you're having an orgasm so that this will be over? Because that is really helpful information. So just checking in, know what's going on, see like, how's your partner doing? How are they feeling? Like that can just really make a difference for everybody. And for me, it just really helps with my mental health. Because I don't like to be wondering like, is my partner enjoying this? Or like, do I know what's going on? Am I enjoying it? Because that's another piece of it, is like constantly check in with yourself. Like, no, am I enjoying this? Do I want to be doing this? Am I tired? Is my jaw tired? Like, what's going on? Do I have a crick in my back and I felt like I couldn't move for like the last 30 minutes? It's all helpful information. But when asking questions, I do think it's a really good idea to just be like checking in with your partner. Like, do they need anything? Megan Thee Stallion has a lyric where she's like, stop licking my pussy like that, it's aggravating, something like that. And I'm like, if you ask, is this aggravating? Like, is the way that I'm flicking my tongue on you, does that feel bad? It's just all helpful information. And I think when you're asking questions, it's really important to not take the answers personally. And I fuck up with this all the time. I take shit so personally. I'm like, oh, are you having a problem? Oh, so you're not just like squirting rivers into my mouth? I don't understand what your problem is. You know what I mean? So like being able to like, just be like, okay, again, this is not about me. Like, I don't know if you've ever read The 4 Agreements. It is the most incredible book, but one of the 4 agreements is don't take anything personally. Oral sex, going down on somebody, a great place to not take anything personally. Number 3, make sure everyone is comfortable. I was speaking to this a little bit with like, keep checking in, but just like think about comfort as a priority and the most important thing. I'm so anal about comfort that like, there are places that I don't like to have sex and I don't like to have oral sex. I'm not a very creative person. I like to be in a bed or on the floor. A couch for me is pretty adventurous because when you start talking about a car, even like the beach, there's just other things going on that I'm like, this is not ideal. And if you're filleting someone with a phallus, I do think that it's easier to go down on them in a car than it is to go down on someone who doesn't have like a long phallus in a car. So I think it has a lot to do with genitalia and like what kind of genitalia that you're working with. But I think that really prioritizing comfort and seeing like, do they need a pillow underneath their pelvis? Do you need a pillow underneath your neck? Do you need a pillow underneath your back? Do you need a pillow underneath your knees? Like really prioritizing that and thinking about like what is going to make everyone feel the best this whole time. Sex is not, you will have lots of great sex, just roll with it. It's not that big of a deal. Number 4, it's a marathon, not a sprint. I think porn has got us all fucked up about how long it should take to have an orgasm. At least, I don't want to project this onto you. It has me confused about how long it should take to have an enjoyable sexual experience, and also specifically how long it takes to bring someone to orgasm from oral sex. It can take a really long time it just depends on the person. But I feel like if you approach it like it's a marathon and not a sprint, you just can be in it for however long it takes. My girlfriend told me that she had a partner one time who told her, she like said something to her partner about it, like I'm sorry or something like that. And her partner was like, I'm just here with you. And I have said that so many times since then. I'm like, that is like anytime that I'm with somebody, I'm like, I'm just here with you. I'm riding this wave with you. Don't you worry. Like, we're here together. We're learning together. I'm enjoying myself. This is perfect. Not having an orgasm doesn't mean that the sex wasn't good. So just being in it to enjoy the experience feels really important to me personally. If you listen to a symphony, there's gonna be an overture, there'll be multiple movements, and then there'll be an ending. There'll be a climax, which is not the ending. And I think about all sex, but especially oral sex, as like, there's an overture, and then you go into movements before you get to the ending. And the ending doesn't mean anything in particular. It's just when you're like, the ending might be the beginning of something else too. The ending might be another overture. You could be down there for hours, really enjoying yourself, and maybe taking breaks. I just said like comfort is key. So like taking water breaks, getting off your knees, changing positions, maybe switching to different, because also it's not just about pleasuring like one part of the body. So it's not just like you're on, even if you're with somebody who has a phallus, like they got other holes too. So really getting into the different parts of their body and enjoying, like treat it like a buffet. It's like, you're like, oh, I'm gonna get over here, I'm gonna get me a little bit of this, I'm gonna get me a little bit of that, I'm doing this, that, and the other thing. Like, it's fun. Sex should be fun. And I think sometimes sex feels like work. It feels like a job. It feels like, and it also feels like a test. It's like, I gotta get the right answer. And it is not that, it's playtime. It's literally like kicking it with a friend, just hanging out, having a good time, so low key. Number 5, if you can give head to one person, you can give head to everybody. I really think that all genitalia is the same. Everybody just has the number of holes that they have. But a clit has like the same essential anatomy as a dick. This is where gender neutrality is really important, and the fact that like the binary is bullshit, and we all find pleasure the same ways. So jacking a dick and twiddling the fingers, same thing, same general philosophy. So, have fun with whoever you want to have fun with. You'll learn a lot, and all of the skills are transferable. I think that a lot of times, especially when people are coming out as queer, if you have only ever been having like heterosexual sex, it's really easy to feel like you don't know what you're doing, or like you're really scared to have sex with people who have different genitalia than what you are used to. But just remember that everybody's got the same genitalia. Put your finger in there, you'll learn about it. Put your mouth on it, you'll learn about it. You use protection, do all the things to be safe, but it's all the same in the end. I'm gonna do a much more thorough tutorial about my personal techniques for how to go down on someone. You'll be able to find that at the link in my description box. It is on the Spicy site. I'm not gonna say the name of it, but you've heard it. It rhymes with Phonely Pams. Thank you so much for watching this video. It has been a pleasure to be here with you. Like this video, give it a thumbs up, subscribe to my channel, join the Underbelly here on YouTube, and I'll see you next time. Bye.